Thank you for coming back. If you've been stopping by the videos lately, if this is your first time, welcome, welcome. And this is a pick a pile. This is really just a very general pick a pile. You know, we've been going through this eclipse portal, and I'm sure that you have seen many shifts and changes happening in your own personal world. And of course, we see the shifts and changes happening in the external world as well. It has been a very, very powerful time. I have been picking up new, I don't want to say new gifts because it's related to my clairvoyance and it's related to my empath abilities and everything, but I am definitely seeing an acceleration of synchronicities and an acceleration of connections, just like. So my first message out right before we start this pick a pile is that number one, I wanted to say to everybody that especially during this eclipse time, please be very mindful of your thoughts and your intentions. And I mean this not to freak everybody out, but be very aware of what you're giving your energy to. And especially in those very simple, subtle ways too, because stuff is manifesting out here like, whoa, like super fast, like within 24 hours of you thinking and saying stuff like that. So the general message that I've been receiving lately in that regard is that everything we are putting out into the world right now is being magnified and multiplied. So make sure you're putting out the right energy. That's my first thing. Okay. The other message that's come for me today is tigers, like tiger stuff everywhere. So these tiger eyes were especially talking to me. We have this red tiger's eye for pile one. I almost said part one. Interesting. So pile one, we have this lovely blue tiger's eye for pile two. And this is also kind of called like hawkstone, if that helps anybody. And then, of course, we have a very classic golden yellow tiger's eye here for pile three. I've also been guided to really bring in these pyramids. The number 4 has been standing out. Very grounded, solid energy, especially in through this heart space. And so we have Shungite here for some really stable grounding and protection energy. We have the Malachite Pyramid for that wonderful heart space. And then we have this Orgonite Pyramid, which can serve all kinds of chakras, but definitely about energizing and amping up that energy in positive, organized ways. And this has been shining at me very strangely this week. So I'm just pulled to do this today. So go ahead and pick your pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and we'll get started. Hello, pile 1. So if you chose this pile, you chose it off of this red tiger's eye. You're probably feeling the root chakra. Ooh, I just noticed this. There's I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the video, but there is like a black line going through this, and it makes like the Nike check mark. And I have been seeing that everywhere. And of course, the message for the Nike check mark, the message for Nike is just do it. And I have been seeing that message a lot lately. Just do it. So I'm coming right out the gate with that message for you. And that might be why you chose this pile, because you're having questions on whether you should do something or not. The answer is just do it. And this is very much related then to that root chakra. So this particular tiger's eye is really about stability and security. And again, especially in that decision-making root chakra, if you don't feel stable and secure enough within yourself to be confident and trusting in your decisions, the answer is just do it. You are this tiger, okay? So let's get started. So the very first thing we have on the top of this pile is the Lenormand card. And if you haven't heard of Lenormand cards are what a lot of people refer to as very, very blunt cards. Like they tell you straight out the gate, like what you're dealing with, what it's about, etc. So this is getting down to the nitty gritty, and let's see what your card is. So you have the coffin. And I always relate this very much to the 4 of Swords. And the 4 of Swords in a tarot deck is very much about rest and recovery. And it can also very much be about letting something go, letting something die. So take that how that resonates for you. It's definitely pulled from very similar artwork. This is actually a woman, right, though? Most of the time in tarot decks, it's a man that is laid here on the coffin, like a warrior soldier. This is a woman. And there is kind of like a little skull here on the side to represent that death and transformation. This is so much about just that rest and recovery. And I would say this is very much about letting an old version of yourself die. For some reason, it wants me to tell you that the sky back here comes from the Ten of Swords. I love this Lenormand deck because, yeah, when they were designing these cards, because they are a little different from tarot, the artist did make tarot cards though, so a lot of this imagery is just pulled from different parts of different cards. So this is the sky from the Ten of Swords. So I would say for sure you have felt something has needed to come to an end, and it's like you just are so afraid to let it die. You're afraid of letting go. You're afraid to just do it, right? And I think what this is really about is letting an old version of yourself die. Because we like to hold on to that old version of ourselves, right? So that's what I've got for you coming out with that. We have an animal oracle card here to kind of give you some insight and enlightenment into that. This is a really lovely card. This is the heron. Yep. Life, feminine energy, and renewal. The heron is a bird of the water and is thus associated with feminine energy and regeneration. In ancient Egypt, the heron was the first transformer of the human soul after death. Woo! I couldn't have... I'm telling you, that card fell out of the deck when I was picking these piles, so that was definitely for you. Because it was seen in flight over the fields when the Nile began to flood, it was associated with fertility and the renewal of life. In the Roman epic, the Aeneid, the heron is again a symbol of renewal and is depicted rising from the ashes of the burned city of Ardea. That's what I'm saying. There's something that needs to just be let go of, and you're so afraid, but this is where, you know, Spirit's really coming in with this heron energy to tell you that there is regeneration after that. There is something new that's coming after that. You will not be lacking or missing anything by allowing this old version of yourself to die. In fact, you're going to be regenerated and reborn in that sense. And I love that it was talking about Egypt too. I'm telling you, I was feeling the pyramids today, like pile one. This really feels good for you. Again, that feminine energy. So if you're a masculine watching this, then this is talking about some inner versions of yourself, inner ideologies, just old ways within yourself. That's that feminine energy. It's not necessarily about things that you're doing out in the world. It's very much about that interior. So this is like thought process, feelings, like that kind of stuff, right? That. Okay. So I pulled 5 tarot cards for you guys. Let's see what the advice is for you to help you maybe let go so you can rebirth this. My throat chakra just went out on that. So there's something you might, and it like specifically got quiet. It didn't get scratchy, it got quiet. So you might be also feeling a little voiceless. And that has been a synchronicity I've seen lately too. It's like you don't feel like you fully have your voice there. It kind of dies down and gets quiet at sometimes. So let's start. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of choices and offers and different factors kind of flying around right now. And I think that's part of why you're afraid to let something die, because it's like there's so much energy coming in right now. And it's very true with the eclipse portal. Like there is so much intense energy coming in. and I just said intense. I didn't really mean to say intense, but I'm sure it feels like that for you, right? There's a lot of shifts. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of change. That's not necessarily what this card represents, but this represents more of you looking at all of this shift and change and all these options and all these ways you could possibly go. And it's probably a little overwhelming right now. So let's see what else we got. Yeah, okay, and look at that coming out on the coffin. There is some pain and some heartbreak and some loss and just grief. There are things that you are feeling a lot of pain about, and this is where the old version of yourself has to die. Now, let me say this right out the gate, too. People often think that letting an old version of yourself die means you have to let go of people, you have to let go of things, you have to let go of that. That's not what Spirit is asking you to let go of. Ooh, okay, it just gave me the, it just gave me James Bond, live and let die. Like, that's what I mean. It's like, live and let die. That's really the message that I'm feeling. But here's the thing. This is not about, like, if this was a person or a situation, it's not like you have to completely cut that away. What Spirit wants you to cut away is simply the pain. This is a Swords card. This is in your mind. As much as it's in your heart, this is in your mind. So there are thoughts. That's what I was saying with that feminine energy. There are thoughts, there are patterns, there are feelings that you just keep cycling back to. And it's really confusing because there's so much like smoke and mirrors, and there's so many factors to it. Accompanied with this Three of Swords, it's like there is so much involved in this when it comes to your emotions and your mind, and Spirit wants you to let that stuff go. Because like I was saying, everything that you're focusing on right now is being magnified and multiplied at very, very fast paces. It just gave me a race, like very fast. Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like, you might feel like you're running a race too in that sense. It's like just one thing after the other. And your mind might be racing. Your emotions might be racing. The key is to understand that you are putting yourself into this negative mentality, into these negative feelings, into this pain, into this loss, and this grief. That is what needs to die. You've got to stop putting yourself in that space, number one. Otherwise, you ain't going to be manifesting anything really nice right now for yourself. Do you want to manifest? It just said fist. Interesting. Do you want to manifest this? The answer is no, right? So, or hopefully not. So, if you're not trying to manifest this kind of illusion and confusion and this heartbreak and this mental pain, you've got to realize that you are putting yourself in that space, and that's what you've got to stop. Yeah, you got to look at everything from a new perspective. This card has seemed to be a theme for me. Not me, but like the collective in general right now. A lot of us, I think especially after the solar eclipse, are needing to look at things in a new light. You're in this hanged man position. That's part of where kind of all this confusion and everything comes in too. And that's where you might be, okay, coming back to this crystal with the just do it thing. You haven't done it yet, whatever this is that you're trying to do. And that's because you're very much feeling tied up like this hangman, but you're here for a reason. And that's because you're reflecting. So let's build off of that message though of the victory, the Nike. It wants me to mention the goddess Nike, who does represent victory. And it's giving me the statue, Nike of Samothrace, which is a gorgeous statue. And if you've never seen an image of it, please go look it up. Nike of Samothrace. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And I do, in fact, love that statue. Okay, interesting. As I'm sitting here with you guys, it's like my solar plexus is kind of weak. Like I'm kind of having to bend over just a little bit. And it almost feels kind of tight. It's like my diaphragm, which is that muscle that separates your inner organs from your lungs. Sorry, y'all can't see. It's, you know, kind of this, the diaphragm in your chest that separates the upper lungs and heart from all of your inner organs here. That feels kind of weak. Feels like it's cramping a little bit. So I think you're definitely feeling powerless. And the thing is, interesting, Spirit, it just reminded me of incline tables, like where you strap your feet in and the table tilts you back till you're hanging upside down so that you can stretch out your spine, and it helps alleviate a lot of pain and stuff. It's literally telling you to like stretch that spine, hang out upside down for a while, and instead of feeling like you're just tied up, look at everything from a different perspective. It also wanted me to point out the fact that his legs kind of make an upside down 4. This is the whole thing. You're not feeling grounded, and 4 is that grounded number. You're feeling like the opposite of it, right? You're feeling kind of up in the air. These are things that, so these are things that you definitely need to let die. This is where you're at, I feel like, and I feel like this is you kind of maybe moving forward. Yeah. There is very sweet energy and connections trying to come in for you right now. This 6 of Cups is very much children and family, but it always tells me soulmates and stuff like that. There is some beautiful energy trying to come in, and it's, I mean, it is what it is. This card usually comes out for definitely like past life connections and love and just children and nurturing. This boy is giving this little girl this cup with, and he's like smelling the flowers for her, and kind of, you know, about to offer it to her and everything, and she's content and she's happy. And there's even like a spirit guard kind of walking over here in the background. So that's what I mean. There is very sweet, loving, protected energy trying to come in, and that's where this heron might be telling you, you know, that's why you gotta let go, because you're rebirthing this energy, and it's coming out as this really, really sweet energy. And that's what you need to be paying attention to. That's what you need to be manifesting. That's what you need to be rebirthing. Yeah, it just said you're learning. It said you're learning. And you're specifically learning how to control your mind. This page can always be news as well, but remember that pages are young. They are very student-like. They are studying the court. They are learning. He is learning how to work with this sword, and the sword is your mind. You are learning how to control your thoughts and I would say emotions too, so that, yeah, because you've got swords and cups. Okay, so interesting. It just wanted me to compare these. It's like you take one of these cups away when it's too many options, and you get this really sweet energy. So take one of these cups away, take one of these thoughts away, and you get left with this energy. Take 2 of these swords away and you get this guy. So that's what I mean. It's like, take the swords out, take out the extra cups, take anything out that's like clutter, and put it aside, because it is really causing you to stay in these negative emotions and thoughts. You got to hang out there to kind of check it out. And then the thing is, you're trying to get this sweet energy in, and you're learning how to control your thoughts and your mind and your communications so that you can better wield your own sword. I'm going to pull one more unknown card for you. I would also say, so, okay. This is also, Spirit. Okay. It said, I'm not done. This is also about communication. So if you're holding back in some kind of communication, I would say the message is just go for it. Just do it. Just communicate, right? Yeah. If you're holding back in some kind of communication, conversation, pursuit, intellectual pursuit, something like that, you're definitely getting the sign to like just go for it. So I'm going to pull this last unknown card. Your King of Cups energy. That's what you need to... Okay, exactly. Yes. That's what I'm saying. That's what you need to go for. This King of Cups energy, whether this is just a person or if it's an actual, you know, state of your own energy, situation, this King of Cups is very mature. One of the best kings, in my opinion. I mean, all the kings in the deck are great, but I have to say the King of Cups is nurturing, loving. However, he is balanced and he does not allow his emotions to get the better of him. He doesn't stay up in his thoughts and his emotions till they create all these negative energies, right? The seas are stormy back here in this card for him, and he is still solidly floating along. Okay, it just gave me the Modest Mouse song, Float Along. Yeah. I'll float along, alright. Don't worry, we'll all float on, alright. Yeah, love it. Interesting that the name of that band is Modest Mouse, too. That just kind of tells, that's what I mean. It's like, tend to the small things. This isn't about a time or an energy of like being out there and like doing all this stuff and or even isolating yourself until you sit in these energies either. This is very much about being present, being balanced in your emotions. This is what you are working on. If this is a person, then this is the person you're trying to, I would say, manifest. It could be that this is the person you're trying to communicate with. Could be a water sign. This King of Cups energy, though, is really mature and definitely solid in his emotions and his understanding of his emotions. And there's a balance, you know? I've been seeing that phrase a lot, and we always see it's like the only way out of it is through it, right? So this is where like you've been going through it, right? You've been going through it. And that's okay. You just need to understand that now it's time to let that energy die away, and we're moving on into these future, more positive energies. And I would say stepping yourself up into this energy, or communicating in a way that is very emotionally balanced and stable and wise in that heart respect. Yeah, it was like something just like grabbed my right ankle. That's what I mean. It's like saying like, just do it, just go for it, just communicate, just and if it's not about communication for you, then I would just say it's like, just go for it, just let it go. Yeah, just let it go, because you're turning into this. That's what I got for you, Pile 1. I think that's a pretty good reading, especially if you've been going through this eclipse portal and it's been a little crazy or something for you lately. I would say, you know, it's hard sometimes to distract ourselves. It's not so much about the distraction. It's about recognizing when you are hurting yourself and then stepping out of that energy and moving forward. Let me know if that resonates for you. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Love and light to you, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose this pile, then you probably chose it off of this blue tiger's eye. And like I said, sometimes I call it a hawk stone. That's what I've seen before when I researched it. And I also like that too, because it kind of reminds me of the shape of a wing. So I love this stone. It's very nice. It's a nice, tranquil, deep tiger's eye type stone. It's not nearly as fiery as the other ones that we have here. It's very much more of this very calm, peaceful tiger feeling. So let's get started. So the first thing off of this pile is a Lenormand card. Lenormand cards are a little different from tarot cards, but they are mostly known for being very, very blunt. Like, there is no 1,000 interpretations of a Lenormand card. It tells you straight up what you're dealing with. So, okay, this bear could very much be about your boss or your workplace or your business or other type of solid resources. Sometimes I do associate this with home, but in a Lenormand deck, this is more specifically about your work, your boss. If you're a boss, right, then I would say this is you in that regard. This is very much about business, money, work. Okay, so let's see what else we got. So coming right out the from the Oracle deck, we've got, ooh, nice. We've got 2 animal cards wanting to come out for you. So first we have this dove energy, which is peace, sexuality, peace, and divine inspiration. The dove has long been associated with female sexuality and maternity. Early pagans considered the dove a symbol of female sex organs, and Christian faiths in which the dove is primarily a symbol of peace and divine inspiration, linked the dove to sexual reproduction. Although Christ was born of a virgin, he was conceived by the Holy Spirit, which is represented by a dove. In Greek mythology, Aphrodite, the goddess of love, was born from the egg nurtured by a dove. Yes, okay, I had a dove yesterday in my tea leaf reading for myself. So this is very much about some feminine sexual energy. I love this kind of step pyramid back here. I've also seen a lot of that lately, like step pyramids, or literal staircases. I was dreaming of staircases. I've been dreaming a lot about hotels and staircases lately. I don't know about you guys, but I did have a dove in my tea leaf reading yesterday. So there's very much symbols of peace, and I would say maybe, yeah, some nurturing feminine sexuality energy coming through. There's a lot there about that divine conception, or immaculate conception. So I would say also that spirit might, people always think that, what am I trying to say? You can be pregnant and then you can be like spiritually pregnant, right? There's a difference. So it might not even be about like pregnancy of that type of immaculate conception, but spirit might have literally planted a seed in your heart or in your mind that has been growing, and it just came to you from intuition, and that is definitely that conception energy. So there has been something that I would say is being planted, has been planted, or will soon be planted within you, whether that is and it just brought me back to this card to say this is about work. So this isn't about, yeah, okay, this is not about a baby. This is about an idea, some divine idea coming to you that I would say is either related to a work situation or something that you're striving to create for yourself, right? Maybe a business. Let's see what this one's about. Ooh, nice. This is snake energy. Now, I like that the snake isn't really even that apparent in this card, right? Instead, we get this really cool, like, medicine woman, right? And she's got the rattle, and she's like, it almost feels like she's around a bonfire dancing. It's very much that kundalini energy. There are some patterns here, so it's like, okay, it just said diamondback rattlesnake, because all the diamonds, which diamonds are actually symbols of protection. They're very, very strong shapes. You know, a pyramid, if you just flip it like this, is a diamond. So here we go. Snake. Transformation, healing, sexuality, and rebirth. The snake has been given numerous symbolic qualities over time and across cultures, from sexual, compassionate, and clairvoyant qualities to the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Poisonous snakes have been associated with transformation and healing in many Native American belief systems. The poison is thought to activate primal energies, which, if manipulated correctly, can cure rather than kill. In the Middle Eastern epic Gilgamesh, a serpent acquires the flower of everlasting youth, which allows it to shed its skin and be reborn. This painting, titled Rattler, is of a snake dancer. It represents a character from Buffalo Gals Won't You Come Out Tonight, a story written by Ursula K. Le Guin and illustrated by this same artist, Boulay. So, yeah, this feels like to me like there is some kind of internal download that you have either been receiving or that you are going to receive soon. And I think it very much has to do with some kind of business practice. I would say a spiritual business practice, but I would also just say in general, whatever this calling is that you're feeling, it's very, very much tied into just that life force energy. It's very much tied into spirit giving you this concept. My jaw just kind of hurt when I said that's what I mean. It's like feels like something about your voice speaking. I was saying this for the last pile too. It feels like some people are being quiet right now. Like they're not talking or speaking up about their true ideas or their truth. It just wanted me to finish this. I was going to say something else. It just wanted me to finish that. Your truth. You're not speaking your truth. And there may be situations in your life, especially with how this mentioned, like the venom of the snake, and how if you can manipulate it the right way, it's not about killing, it's about curing and turning it into something, right? It's transformation. So there might be situations in your life that are slightly, yes, yeah. My jaw just hurt again when I said that. It's like there's something inside, like poking me in my jawbone. That's what I mean. It's like there might be something kind of toxic around you that is transforming you. And you need to make sure that you're manipulating the energies the right way so that it becomes something good from this conception into something really strong for this business, like this bear. Yeah, that's what I got. All right, let's open up your tarot cards and see what you got going on. What's spirit advice on all this? Oh, look at that. Boom. The Fool. Just go for it. Yes. I would also just say, in general, though, that's what I mean. It's like, and it's walking the same direction as this bear. The sky is the same color. Look. Look at that. Okay. The artist of these Lenormand cards also made tarot cards. And tarot cards originally were woodcut prints. And so when she was making these cards, she had to pull a lot of imagery from original tarot cards. I want you to look at this. That is the background of this Fool card. This is like the same thing. That's what I mean. You are the boss. That's what, sorry, this is what this just said. You are the boss. This is you taking that leap of faith and stepping, and I love how your energy is going to the left. It's going left. It's going feminine. It's stepping away from anything that's possibly toxic and really jumping in with spirit here. And if spirit especially has been speaking to you and talking to you about something, like, go for it. There's the Fool. And you might think that it's folly. You might think that it's not something you could do. I feel like maybe you've been questioning yourself, or you've been holding yourself back, maybe wondering, like, is this really as bad as I think it is, type deal. This Fool card right here is just telling me to go for it. Like I just said, me. Maybe this one's for me. It's just telling you to go for it, right? Like, follow that spiritual calling. Yeah, it's very much about giving. And we have Pentacles here, and there's that, that's what I was saying, money, finances, business, work. This is very much about, it just said nonprofits, giving, balancing your money as well, I would say in general. But this card is so much about giving to others in need. And especially if you have that to give. And remember that Pentacles does not always have to literally be money. You might be in a situation where you're like, I don't really have the money to give right now. You know, first of all, every little penny counts. But second of all, there's so much more you can give than just money. If someone needs food, if someone has a baby and they need diapers, or like whatever, you know, like that kind of stuff, whatever people need. This is so much about giving, and just said giving back. And just said giving back. So I think you've got an idea that you're trying to grow that I think is a good idea. And I think it's very much about giving back to people, because you're feeling that calling, right? But you're afraid of it. You're afraid it wants me to sit with this card for a second. You're afraid because this path going through the moonlight, first of all, you see those mountains too. They remind me of these mountains over here. It's like you can't see the path to this yet. But you feel this like howling at the moon. Again, that very feminine energy. It's like you really feel this. And even though this is a lobster, this very much reminds me of, it's Cancer season. That's what I mean. It's like Cancer season is bringing you this divine, immaculate conception of an idea of whatever this plan is. And I think you're afraid because you can't see the path ahead of you, but you just feel this calling, right? This moon is that very feminine energy too. So this is very much about some nurturing, just overall feminine qualities I'm kind of feeling in that regard. I'm going to build off of this. My forehead is like vibrating and twitching right now as I sit here with this. You're really thinking about this. That's what I mean. It's like you can't see the path yet and you're really thinking about it, but you see this, like once spirit gives you the go ahead, you're going to be like, charge. Like you are ready to talk about it. You're ready to communicate once you step into this Knight of Swords energy. And also it just said spirit is like making you into this knight. Very intellectual, very smart. This is all about that communication and very fast movement in that regard. That's what I mean. It's like once spirit, and that's what I was kind of looking at these. I almost said the 2 towers, but that's not what I want to say. This gateway, it's like once spirit gives you the word, you are going to go charging through this gateway because you know all this positive energy is here. It's just you can't see the way yet. And I don't think you're supposed to. What this card also tells me is maybe you are waiting until after the lunar eclipse coming up. That'll be our 3rd eclipse in this eclipse portal. So it might be about some divine timing too. You're not supposed to see the path yet. You are getting tidbits and pieces of what is coming up for you, but you can't see the path yet. And that's because you're still dealing with some of this, I feel like. And even though this can be transformational, beautiful energy, it's like, that's what I mean. It's like you're still kind of stuck here with this possibly venomous, possibly toxic energy. Which this will also be cutting that out too, right? That's what I mean. I feel like you're more over here and you're like sorting this stuff out. And I feel like this energy in general moves this way. So what's our last card? Okay, an Ace of Cups. That's what I mean. And again, here's that dove, right? That's what I mean. Spirit gave you or is about to give you just this overflow of emotion and spirit and love and things that make you feel good. There is a new cup that spirit is either offering you and you're aware of it, or it's about to come in. And that's what I mean. Once you get this cup, you're going to be like, charge, but you can't see it yet. Yeah, you haven't been able to see it yet. What's one last card for you? Hang in there. Hang in there. That's what I mean. Just hang in there. This 9 of Wands is very much that wounded warrior energy, but it's more in this instance talking about that reflection. This is saying that you have almost completed whatever I would say this kind of cycle is in that regard. You are kind of in the wings waiting, pausing and reflecting. You've been through a lot. And this kind of head bandage right here, that implies to me that something kind of stirred you up and kind of hurt you. And you're healing from that. It's also just in general that you've been on some kind of journey, either within yourself or outwardly for a while. This Nine of Wands too, Wands is very much about career in the sense of like your passions and everything. It's like you've been working really hard on your passions for a while. And it's like you're so ready to step into this new journey and this new energy. And I really feel like Spirit's been speaking to you. And it's almost time. So it's like kind of telling you to hang in there. And that's what I mean. I feel like for you guys, pile 2, this very much has to do with that divine timing of like the lunar eclipse and just waiting on Spirit to kind of, instead of being in this darker moon energy, stepping into this beautiful sun, this Fool energy. Yeah, this feels really nice. It feels like Spirit is really connecting with you, pile 2, and I think that you're connecting with them, and I think that you're what you have questions for in your mind, or where you're feeling restless or like you haven't been able to move yet, it's all about this divine timing. I feel like it's very much about the upcoming lunar eclipse for you. And I'll be doing readings for all the signs soon. I just wanted to start with this pick pile, so take this how it resonates. But I think that you are being very divinely guided at this time, and it's really nice. Let me know how that resonates for you guys, and I will see you again later. Thank you. Hello, pile 3, my last pile. Thank you for being here. So if you chose this pile, you probably chose it off of this really lovely golden tiger's eye. This always, every time I pick it up, just makes me sing Eye of the Tiger. So definitely, okay. And it just gave me the vision of Rocky literally running up the staircase in the movie when it's like the Eye of the Tiger song. So working out, and this could just be mentally too, or emotionally, like working yourself up, working yourself out, climbing that staircase, pushing forward, that kind of energy. That's what I'm really oh, it just said fencing. I was gonna say that's what I'm really feeling for you guys. Fencing. Fencing is the sword thing. I feel like this is about your mind, but definitely it's like you're kind of feeling like there's a challenge up ahead or a competition, defending yourself. I don't feel it in the way of necessarily like it just said bad juju. I don't feel it in the way of like bad juju. I feel it of like more of fighting for your passions, just like Rocky has to train himself for the boxing matches and stuff. It's like that. It's like you're in training and you're very fired up about it, or you feel it, or Spirit wants you to get fired up, right? So let's slide this over for now. So for right now on the top of the deck, I brought in these Lenormand cards today. Lenormand cards are a little bit different. Sorry, my nose is itching for you guys. That's what I mean. Your nose knows. That's what I always say when my nose itches. Your nose knows. Follow your instincts. I think that's really coming through for you guys. Follow your instincts. I haven't even flipped your card over yet. And anyway, Lenormand cards are, unlike tarot cards, they are very, very blunt and to the point. Like there's no messing around about what it's dealing with. So this is about either yourself, if you are a woman, or identifying as a divine feminine, or you know, take that how that resonates, or this is about a woman in your life. This is definitely about a person, a lady. So if this isn't you, if you don't feel like you resonate with this card, then this is about a person in your life. And then we've got this wolf card coming through for your animal totem: creation, healing, and purification. Although portrayed as a marauding villain in many European cultures, wolves are deities in Native American cosmologies and are a popular totem. Like the raven, which also appears in this painting, the wolf is a hero and creator. In some legends, she is the trickster sibling of the coyote. Ooh, I like that it said she. Okay, okay, it's giving me, okay, yeah, sorry, I'm trying to get this all in my head. It's giving me a download. So the star, Sirius, we call it the dog star. In deeper spiritual goddess connections, though, it is actually considered the wolf star, and it is a woman. It's another example of where possibly masculine energies throughout history have literally like overtaken feminine energies and turned them into something that is supposedly masculine, but it's actually a feminine energy. So I would say if this is you, I'd say, honey, you're this wolf, okay? So in some legends, she is the trickster sibling of the coyote, I cannot pronounce this, Kilouette, and the Maka of the Pacific Northwest ascribe healing power to the wolf and perform a wolf dance in the skin of the animal to cure the sick. An early Roman cult of Lupa or Feronia, the great she-wolf, also known as the mother of wolves, was the divine midwife and matriarch of the ancestral spirits. She was honored in an annual festival of the she-wolf and was invoked in purification rituals. In the Roman legend of Romulus and Remus, a wolf nurses the two heroes and restores their strength. Yes, Rome supposedly is founded by Romulus and Remus, who, as babes, get taken in by a she-wolf, and it is she who nurtures them and makes them strong enough to become the men that start Rome. So it just gave me the phrase, behind every great man is a great woman. So I think for sure, stepping into this really nice, this is like motherly wolf energy, right? Like mama wolf, she will nurture you and protect you and possibly tear you up too. So I'm going to slide that over here. That's what I mean. So, okay, this feels very much either for a woman or about a woman, which could be yourself. And it's like you're in training. It's like you're in training to be this wolf. It's like you're in training to be that super nurturing wolf energy. And the fact that it's talking about stars and everything, I would say this could also very much relate to possibly like your starseed ascension, if you resonate with that, right? I personally very much connect to Sirius, the dog star, but I always remind myself that it is, again, originally that female, that wolf star. So there's a lot of lineage, I feel like, coming through here. But I feel like, first of all, I feel like you're being trained. I feel like you're being trained. Let's see what the tarot's got for you. It just keeps singing Eye of the Tiger in my head, like now it won't stop. Yeah, lots of movement, lots of communication coming in fast. Spirit is sending you a lot of messages right now, I would say, and it's coming in fast. That's part of your training. Being able to catch all these wands when they come flying in. A lot of that has to do with you, I just said letting go. And I think part of that could be, I think it's about like obsessive, like maybe clinging to every single spirit message that's coming through, and it's like let go of that a little bit, right? Like you're in training. There's a lot of stuff coming to you in training. When we get trained for something, you usually get bombarded with a ton of information, right? Think of your first day on a new job. They got to show you everything, and it can get to be a lot. And it's one of those things, like if you obsessively sit there and try to learn absolutely every detail in training, you're probably not going to do your best. It's more about experience, right? You have to go through the experience of it. So if there's a lot of information coming in, which I did receive that message 2 days ago, it actually told me to like kind of stay away from, not necessarily like my cards, but like Instagram and social media and stuff where I might look to other readers or just look for general messages. The message was like, there's a lot of information coming in. So it's best to just stay away, especially if you're the kind that wants to obsess over a lot of different signs and information. It's like, let that breathe, let that go. Spirit is sending you so much right now. Stay present, stay focused. You're in training, work on what's in front of you at that time, okay? What's this coming in though? Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lots of beautiful strength. Even though this is a lion here, I for some reason, I'm just very much associating it with this wolf. So whether you want to see this as a lion or a wolf at this time, it's like, that's what I mean. You are the wolf, you are the lion, but you are also this woman. And this strength card is so much about that inner strength and grace. Grace is a huge part of this card too, because she's not fighting this lion. She doesn't have this lion chained up or anything. She is calmly getting it to open its mouth while she guides it. Okay? And this tells me this is spirit working on you too. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I've had that reading a lot come through too for my other two piles, is that it's something about our voices. Like, people are not speaking up about what they feel, what they want, what they see, what they think. Like, you're just not speaking your truth right now. And I get that for all three of these piles in a little bit of a sense. There is some spirit is, I feel like spirit's training you to use your voice, but before you can use your voice, you've got to listen to spirit's voice. Woo, I love that. Nice. Yeah, I'm feeling that message, dude. Also, I just want to point out that it's the 8 and the 8, even though this is major arcana, but this 8 and this 8, this is an angel number right here. This is abundance. This is infinity. This is flow. That's what her halo is about too. But the infinity symbol, the center, is always about the present moment. Now, not focusing on every little sign and thing that spirit is sending to you. Not every little communication that you see on Facebook or Instagram. Not worried about all these other people possibly trying to talk to you and distract you. Spirit is teaching you how to listen to the... Ooh, nice. It just said how to listen to the wolf howl. Yeah, I like that too. That's what I mean. But before you can learn how to howl, before you can learn how to roar, you've got to learn to listen to spirit. Because spirit got a lot to say. But it's training you to be so strong. That's what I mean. And the fact that the strength card came out, we were talking about like Rocky and like this train. That's what I'm saying. Like, you are being trained. You are being trained. And before you can fully use your voice, you have to let spirit guide you, and you have to listen to spirit. Boom. Look at that. The magician. Yeah. Because not only are you going to be trained to use your voice, you're going to be trained to manifest. And this is a really beautiful masculine energy in that regard. You are being trained to manifest. He's got all the suits: wands, swords, cups, and pentacles. It wanted me to point that out. That's like a soul contract. I always love that he's pointing down at kind of like these roses and these flowers and everything. These lilies are very much, they remind me of like Easter lilies, but they also remind me of like sexuality. And roses always remind me of like Mother Mary energy. So again, that kind of motherly energy. You are, there goes my throat chakra again. You are being not only trained to be the voice for spirit and communicate within your own strength and be this kind of really strong she-wolf energy, but you are being trained to manifest because you have all the tools. Maybe not yet. That's why the spirit wants you to listen. But when you get done through this process right here, at least, you're going to have all of these tools and you're going to know how to use them. Look at that beautiful Empress coming out. That's what I mean. This is very much that high fruitful mother. Just in the sense of running that empire very much. And I like how it goes from like the feminine energy to the masculine energy and then back to this feminine energy again. It's like you have to have the balance of both. So I would say that internally your masculine energy is being trained as well. But you yourself might be a woman. And therefore, you do need some of that masculine energy to come in to help supplement and support that strength that spirit's trying to build in you. And the masculine energy is that doing, that action energy, that manifester. And all of that combined is what really makes you this Empress. And the Empress, she's got the wheat here in the field, so she's got crops to keep her going. She's got these nice, lovely cushions to sit upon on a solid throne. And this is that planchette of like a Ouija board and stuff. So she's very connected to spirit in that regard. Rocking that feminine energy. She's got water, she's got trees, she's got this beautiful crown of stars here. Ooh, I love that too. See, that's what I was saying. This is, I feel like there's a lot of starseed stuff coming for you. And I think it very much has to do with Sirius, the dog star or the wolf star. That's what I mean. It's like you're being trained to be this, and this Empress is standing in her power. She fully embraces that divine feminine energy. She is fruitful. She is got it going on. You know? Like that's, and I want you to notice all the yellow coming through for you. This very much feels like your solar plexus chakra too, like standing in your power in the really good ways, okay? Beautiful, like sunshine energy, summer energy. Like I definitely feel like this is happening to you over the summer. Just wow, like nice. Okay. And all of this is happening. Look at this 8 again. You've got an 8, an 8, and an 8. So I'm saying angel number. These angels are talking to you right now. Why is all of this happening? Because you feel, it just said you still, nice. It just said you still feel tied and bound. So you might have thought that you got free from something, or like, or maybe you made some progress, right? Like you've made some progress through this training cycle. But you're still feeling very tied and bound in your mind. And the thing about this too, and a lot of readers always point this out, but it's true. Her feet are not tied. She can walk out of here, but she is blindfolded. What I like to say is like, if she just leans up against one of these swords, she can cut herself free. So even though these swords are kind of what's imprisoning her, which is all your thoughts and especially doubts possibly, there's one of these thoughts or swords that you can lean up against that's going to help you untie yourself. You're specifically in this mental space because you're being trained. This is part of your training, being blindfolded, being tied up. It's kind of giving me like, not full-on military references and stuff like that. It's more like, that's what I mean. It's just like a training exercise. It's like, what are you going to do if your hands are tied and bound and you're blindfolded? How do you get out of that? You use your mind, right? If you actually were in a situation where you were tied and bound and you didn't have anything around you to help cut you free, the first thing you're going to turn to help yourself maybe get out of that situation is your mind, your thoughts. You start thinking, how am I going to get out of this? That's what I mean. You are being trained. And I would say Spirit's really talking to you while you're in this state. And that's what I mean. It's like you're learning to listen, because she's not seeing and she's not feeling and she's not walking. That's what I mean. She's listening. She's listening. She senses all these swords around her. She senses all of this energy and confusion and just, there's so much going on, and yet you feel like you're standing still, I feel like. And I feel like this reading comes more into the middle here now, where it's like, yes, this is what's working on you in the inside. And this feels more of like what's going on outside a little bit, even though this is in that mind space, and even though this feels more like Spirit communicating to you. This feels more like influences from the outer world right here, and this feels more of like what's actually happening in your core, which is your solar plexus chakra that sits very much at the center of your body. So that's what I mean. I feel like your solar plexus chakra is being worked on. I feel like your voice, and that's where your voice comes in too, because if energy is not traveling fully through all of your chakras, especially if your solar plexus is weak, you don't feel empowered, you don't feel confident in yourself, you don't feel like you can do these things, and you have a hard time processing all of the information coming in from the outside world. I would say yellow for you guys for sure, especially, yes, because you had this golden tiger's eye. So if you've got some golden tiger's eye around, I feel like this is for you. Work on your solar plexus chakra, eat yellow, wear yellow, surround yourself with yellow, focus on that color, get out in the sun a little bit for sure. Like, yeah. Okay, last card. Why are you being trained for this too? Because number one, to avoid situations like this in the future, where you feel like someone hurts you or takes your sword away or kind of beats you up or like whatever, right? It just said uses you. Because this guy right here, this is interesting. It's like this guy, it's almost like he knew he was going to win. And these people thought that they actually had a fighting chance. And he's only doing it so he can collect their swords. That's kind of what I just got off of that. And also for you to be this person one day, not in that nasty way, right? More of the person who is no longer tied and bound by these swords, but is instead collecting good swords, right? If these were rather the nastier people and you are just the victor, then it becomes like, no, you're not going to conquer me. No, you're not going to tie me up and bind me and hide me in all of these swords and make me feel like I'm imprisoned. I'm going to win. I'm going to beat this. This is especially about that mental energy. So that's what I mean. It's like beating your own mind, beating the nasty negative thoughts of others. If it's an actual situation where people like hurt you or something like that, then it's just being able to be this person next time instead of these. But my message is very specifically about this too, like, this comes in with that trickster energy that they kind of mentioned a little bit. And it's funny because she's supposed to be like a trickster sister to the coyote. And trickster energy it always changes. It very much just, it can certainly be confusing. And the whole reason why trickster energy exists is so that you can learn lessons. And part of those lessons are about empowering yourself, recognizing your power, recognizing your strength, recognizing your lineage, your star lineage, who you are, what you can create, like literally the power within you, so that you can conquer some more of this more confusing energy that kind of comes in. And especially if it's coming off of people who manipulate you and hurt you, you're not going to be dealing with that anymore. This very much feels like you were being trained so that you no longer have to deal with this energy, that you can just squash it. That's what, yep. Okay, that's the end of it. That's what I got. All right. So thank you very much, Pile 3. I hope that encourages you. And let me know how that resonates for you guys. I will catch everyone next time. Thank you.